Hey guys, it's Glenn from Reset Your Journey. I want to go over some of the maintenance that we do on our rig on an annual, monthly, and almost daily basis to prevent some of the problems that you can do on your own. This is not an extensive list by any means, but it will help prevent a lot of the problems that you could have in the future. Hear that? No? Good. I often hear people talking about problems or issues that they have with their rig, and I feel like if you really stay on top of your maintenance and you get to know every system and every part of your rig and you do all of these things, you can prevent most of these problems. And everything we're talking about, you can totally do on your own. So every time we move, I make it a point to tighten the connections on a weight distribution system, and it doesn't take much. You don't want to over torque these things. You just want to make sure that they are solid, because I have on occasion found them loose, and let's prevent some accidents. And at least every 6 months I take the cover off these batteries and I make sure that the wires are securely fastened to the batteries and nothing's coming loose. The charge controller in the rig will tell me if something's wrong with the batteries, so I'm good on that part. How's my hair? Oh, okay, it's good. Since we full time, we did recently change our tires, but I wanted to point out that they had a little bit of tread left and they probably could have gone another halfway around the country, but they just crossed that line of 5 years old. So the tread was wearing, wasn't totally down, but they'd gone past 5 years. We live in this thing, we're moving all the time. The last thing I want to do is worry about a tire that just might blow out because I waited too long. So we went ahead and changed these tires as part of our annual maintenance on this. And at the rate we travel, my guess is that's going to come out to be every 2 years. Another good habit to get into is check the inside of your tire walls. You could find cracks or bubbles or issues back here that you would miss just walking around your rig. So it's really easy to get down here and do this, at least every time you travel. For peace of mind, jump down and check them out. It's easy. I may not be an expert in brakes. In fact, I'm doing this because I wanted to learn how to work on our brakes on the rig. But as part of our preventative maintenance, I always check the brakes and I check the drums. And that's an easy thing to do. But what I found on one of our brakes is it was completely broken. You'll see pictures of that. I'm sure Rose will put that up. Why not, since we're at like almost 40,000 miles on these brakes, why not just replace them all? In fact, my total cost on this, minus my time, and you could say my time might be worth, $10,000 an hour. I like that number. But $220 for our brakes. And since I check them every 6 months, whether they're high end, low end, doesn't even seem to matter. I think I'll catch anything that's wrong with them to begin with. Also, as part of your preventative maintenance, make sure you check your bearings every 6 months to 12 months, depending on how frequently you use your trailer. If you're uncomfortable doing it, have someone professional do it. But if you are, it's not that difficult. Make sure that your bearings are running smooth, they're clean, and repack them by hand or with the Dexter Easy Lube as you see fit. But as long as you're staying on top of them, you're probably going to prevent some catastrophes. As part of my ongoing maintenance, I make sure the day before we move, I re-torque every lug nut on the tires. I have found them loose at times. It's 110 foot-pounds of torque, which is really not that much. So they can come loose. If you do it the day before you move, it prevents forgetting, because that moving day is always so busy. You're like, oh man, I forgot to do the wheels. Well, do it the day before and it's not an issue. If you're towing a travel trailer, don't forget your tow vehicle. It's easy to neglect the big guy pulling you here. So make sure you take care of that too. Our maintenance is ongoing because we actually live in this thing. Check out some of our other content. We have some really cool adventures all over the country. I look for every little screw and every bolt inside and outside this rig, high and low, and tighten everything I can, because if you think about it, you're going down the road, you're bouncing around, and even us, it's worse because we're on these really bumpy dirt roads and the whole thing just wants to shake apart. So prevent that from happening by tightening every single screw that you see. Every opportunity I get, I wash the trailer. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it's not impossible. And then at least twice a year I put 2 coats of the ceramic, I believe it's Meguiar's ceramic coating on it. It's a spray on. It works great on here. The RRV looks beautiful every time it's done, and it looks new. And most importantly, let's forget aesthetics. It's protected. Whenever I wash the roof at least twice a year, I get up and I put 303 aerospace protectant on it. I may not be affiliated with them, but the product works fine. And every time I go up and look at it after I wash it, it looks great. So this is doing something. But if you know something better, please let me know in the comments below and I'll give that a test as well. Every time I walk around this trailer, I check the seals visually because it's quick and easy. I can see up here and just check to see if there are any gaps. Once a month I get on the roof and I check every place that is sealed, and if there's any gap, that's when I use the ProFlex RV. I don't know if it's the right stuff or not. It works fine for this, but every time the rig moves and shakes, it starts to break a little bit. So you can expect that on every rig on the road. It doesn't matter. And let me also say this as a sort of a disclaimer. My caulking job, not so pretty, but it doesn't leak. That's the key. So even if you're uncomfortable and you're looking to do the perfect seal work, forget it. Just seal it up. I really don't like to waste these ProFlex tubes, so I used to just, cover it up or stick a nail in it, and it would be so hard to get it back out. So I started putting that hanger in this thing and shoving it all the way down and then setting it up in here so it's always attainable. And then all I do, I pull the hanger out and it comes out. And because it gets so wide over time, because I keep cutting it down, I just put it on my finger and slap it on. It does wash off. I'm not an expert on Schwintek, but I do know that you have to lube the gear mechanism behind this bracket, sort of behind here. If you've got a straw, you can Schwinagle your way in there and make that work. As far as I know, that's all you have to lube, from the inside and from the outside. And then once every quarter, I try to use the rubber seal conditioner on all of the seals all around the rig. And that includes the front entrance door, all of the cubby spaces, and then the slide, of course. No straw, broke off, but you can still use it. Because really all we're doing is conditioning.
If you're finding this content useful, please subscribe and hit that like button to help us reach more people.
I also like to vacuum out all of the major systems, the refrigeration system, the water heater system, and the heater inside. As long as they are accessible, then I'm going to vacuum every part that I can. And during the summer, when we're using the air conditioner frequently, I pull these off. I vacuum all this gunk off of here. And I have vacuumed these recently, but they're getting kind of gross, so we're also going to take them in and wash them. We will soak, wash, dry, and return to AC. I don't know the validity of this, but I do know that using borax is basically a softener, so anything that's a little more solid in your black tank, it'll soften things up. So we add a random amount. We just add an arbitrary amount. I can tell I take these measurements seriously, and let it fill for about a week, and then we dump it. And it seems to work fine.
Now you can help support our channel with some great gear that delivers a powerful message. The link is in the description down below, as well as on our website at resetyourjourney.com. We sincerely appreciate your support. Now back to the video.
I don't think it's necessary to keep a schedule for defrosting your freezer and refrigerator, but if you've got an ice block back here the size of an iceberg that could sink the Titanic, then it's time. Besides, you don't need to carry that extra weight around. So when you see that, all you really need to do, throw a big sponge in here, that's in other words a towel, let that melt for 48 hours, wring it out, clean it up, sanitize the whole thing, and you're done. I do recommend sanitizing your freshwater tank at least every 6 months. And the ratio is typically 1 cup per 50 gallons, sometimes 40 gallons, and you can do the math on that. Add that to your tank, fill it up entirely, and then let it sit for 8 hours. Then drain it, refill it, drain it, refill it. When you stop smelling chlorine coming out of your faucets, then you're good to go. Now, because we live in this, I don't drain the hot water heater. Because we live in this, I don't drain the hot water heater during the winter because we leave for the winter and we're somewhere warm. But I do drain this and check the anode. I keep an extra one on hand, so when this is bad. I've got 10 gallons of hot water in here. So this is what we have. This has been in since December of 2020. It's December 2021 now. I've got a spare one on hand, but I'm gonna put this back in because it's got life left in it. Then when the hot water heater is drained, if you have one of those little wands, it's like this long yellow thing, you can push that in there and spray water in and rinse everything out. Honestly, I've used the hose with the nozzle on it and just spray in there until it comes out, and I still get residue from the anode coming out. So really, that's all you need to do.
It's on.
I'm not working with you anymore. You're fired.
We hope by sharing this information, it helps with your travel trailer maintenance. If you're interested in some of our other content, check out this playlist over here, and we'll see you over in the next video.